My full name is Robert Wayne Callender. I go by Skipper, and that's no nickname from childhood. So but my middle name is actually Wayne. And I'm 75 years old. I live here in Texarkana, Arkansas, on the Arkansas side of Texarkana. And I'm a retired, not retired veteran, but I'm retired in life, you know. And I'm a retired, I guess you'd say, a fireman, paramedic. And I'm enjoying myself, and I'm a proud veteran because of what we were firefighting. We got into it pretty often.
Yes, sir.
And guys were getting killed and wounded. And it don't take you long. After a couple of firefights, you just like, I'm not going to make it out of here.
Yes.
And I still got a whole year to go.
Yeah, it's
And
hard
it's
to
kind
see.
of, that changes you.
Yeah.
And then when you see bodies and when you see things, that changes you. You just don't recover from that. And you just, that's just the way it is. And then, unfortunately, I obviously made it home.
Yes, sir.
I did get wounded. 82 mortar went off pretty close to me, and I was helping a veteran that was wounded, and it was on my knee and went up, and the shrapnel caught my knee, and the shrapnel's still in my leg.
Is it really?
The doctors, they sent me to the hospital on a helicopter, but the doctor, after he said, "No, I'm not going to take it out," and so I got sent right back out to the same platoon after one day.
I understand.
But I treasure that one day. It was pretty cool.
Yes, sir. It was probably a. It's
I got
probably
a good meal that day, you know.
I hear that. What do you think is one thing civilians don't understand about being in the service?
Who don't understand?
Civilians.
Oh, civilians. I'm sorry if my order here.
Yes, me too.
I don't think veterans, they don't understand because we're not exposed to it in real life, you know. Especially here in America, we're kind of privileged here in
Yes,
America versus some other
Isolated,
countries.
you know.
Some other countries, it's every day for them,
Yes, sir.
you know. And a lot of people don't want to hear that. They don't want to see it. Now, the news media today shows more than they ever did. Back in my day, 68, 69, and 70, news media was not anything like it is now. There was no such thing as internet. There was no such thing as most people didn't even have a TV still.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's why I think today's world, when they see everything, it's changing. They're starting to be more sympathetic, especially for like right now. They're seeing all the illegals being captured, and people are protesting against it because it's like human rights stuff, you know. But back then, people didn't know it. It could be happening, and they had no idea.
Yeah, they weren't seeing it. They might hear about it even, but they
Yeah.
never saw it.
Well, when I did get home, because I had a big hospital stay because I actually got sick in Vietnam, and they had to hospitalize me and found out I had a blood disease. They don't know where it come from, and it was killing me. So the doctors realized that I needed to remove my spleen to help me stay alive. They did that at a military hospital, and I got infected over there, and then they sent me back home, and I was in the hospital here for 2.5 months. But obviously, I recovered. They
Yes.
cured me. And when I went home, I was excited to go home, see my parents and stuff. And they didn't want to talk to me. They didn't push me away, but they didn't want to talk.
Yes, sir.
My dad didn't ask me one question or nothing, so I didn't say anything. And I went to see some of my old buddies, especially a couple of them that I had that did not go to Vietnam. They went to college. I went to see them, and they didn't, you know, they gave me a hug, but that was pretty much it. And then when I ran around town, everybody kind of shot me. They didn't want to talk to me much. And so obviously I didn't wear a uniform. I didn't have that on, but they still knew who I was and stuff,
Yes,
where
sir.
I'd been. So I think that's my take on all that, you know.
Yes, sir.
It was just a different time for us, you know. And I think because of Vietnam and what Vietnam veterans went through when they came home, I think it has helped veterans today, like yourself. Maybe you got a little bit more than what we did. You still didn't get what you needed.
I look at it like this. I knew nothing but love coming home from any of my 4 deployments, and I think it is because of Vietnam.
Yeah,
I mean, man, some of you guys, y'all got spit on. You got hit with bricks.
yeah.
You know?
Over the years, we had to fight for our rights. We had to fight
Yeah.
to get disabilities for Agent Orange and for tendinitis. That's why I can't hear, because I was around cannons a lot.
Yes, sir.
And explosions. And so was everybody. And that's why if you do a hearing test, you got tendinitis, yep, they give it to you. It's because we had to fight for it for years because they denied us. Now, if you apply for something, you have a better chance of getting it because
Yes,
of
sir.
what we did.
I've been talking to quite a few veterans, and I'm seeing, there's always going to be room for improvement in the VA, but I do feel like we're definitely trending up depending on how far back you go, even just in my generation.
Yeah.
I came in 2013, and, the stories we would hear even then were atrocious, but, I can only imagine how bad the VA was in the days of Vietnam,
It was just non-existent, really. You were just another number. I mean, now they're
take
a
care of
little
us
bit better now.
They're good. I think we're trending up. I
Yeah,
think we're trending
it's
up.
improved a lot.
So, how did you leave the military? Were you medically separated? Did you finish
Well, how'd I
out your
leave?
contract? Yes, sir.
My wounds, I think, is what did it for me. Actually,
Medically
my
separated.
story it goes another step further,
Sure, go
and
ahead.
I'm not ashamed of it anymore because it's what happened to me, and I'm past it now. So I don't mind telling you the truth, what happened. When I got out of the hospital and all that, and actually I started drinking.
Yes, sir.
I started drinking, staying drunk, and I was smoking pot and just trying to
Yeah.
and it wasn't working, and I really didn't enjoy it. So I had to report back because I still had, believe it or not, I still had 4 months to still serve my 2 years, my 3 years, I'm sorry. And so I reported at Fort Pope and went to the company commander. He said, okay. He said, I got a job for you, and he gave me a job drawing blood from the new ones coming in.
Yes, sir.
Because that's like where they train more. That's where I was trained. And so I did that, and I worked at night. Well, it didn't bother me because I stayed busy, and they pretty much treated me okay. No one mistreated me, I can tell you at the time. And I was doing my best just to hang on, and I was still drinking on base. I was drinking, I was very discreet about it. Anyway, I did my duty though. And then one day he called me in his office, commander, and he said, you got orders to ship out. And I go, no, don't do it to me, man. I'm almost done here. I like what I'm doing. I could do this, I pleaded with him. He said, I'm sorry, I can't do anything about it. Orders are orders. He sent me down to Fort Bliss, Texas. And I guess down there at that time they had the Patriot missiles that came out. And that's when they first come out, they were training them down there how to shoot those. So they gave me a job taking an ambulance jeep, one of those little tarps things, in a convoy out to the desert, and then they shot them all day long, and then we all came back at the night. My job was just in case anyone got hurt, I was there.
Yeah, but when he said you chipping out,
Well, it
you
was
thought you was going back, didn't
It
you?
was a perfect opportunity for me to get drunk
Right. Oh, yeah, I understand
and lay
that.
down in the back of my jeep and just pass out.
Oh, man.
And then someone would go in there, hey doc, you wake up, we're leaving. And I would drive back. I mean, I did that for a while, day in, day out, day in, day out. But what was different down there too that made it worse is they put me in a barracks with all the trainees. Well, they're not trainees, whatever you call them. They were not AIT trainees. And they put me in there with them, and they didn't give me a room or nothing like they do a sergeant or something. I was an E4, and I was with the 101st Airborne in Vietnam. I was a wounded veteran, and I guess I had an attitude, obviously.
Yeah.
And so I started thinking more and more about that, how they were disrespecting me and blah 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 blah. They just started. I got to get away from me,
Yep.
Booze could do that too.
Oh, yeah.
And there was no support. And at one point, I actually went to the company commander there, and I said, I need help. I really did. I went to him, I said, I'm a drug addict, and I said, I'm an alcoholic, and I need some help. I said, I'm not doing so good, And he said, he looked at me, I forget what he said something. He said, go do your job, get out of here. I ain't got time for this. That's pretty much all I got. So anyway, long story, I'll finish it up. I went AWOL.
Oh, gotcha.
Because there was another Vietnam veteran that showed up, that they had me doing, and we got to meet each other. And after a few days, he said, I got a car. He had a 57 Chevy. And he said, I'm out of here. He said, I can't do this. And I said, I'm like you. So we went out and got drunk together a few times, and finally he said, you know what, tomorrow morning I'm going to hit the road. I'm going to California. He said, you ever been to California? I goes, no. He goes, you want to go? I thought about it. I said, yeah, let's go. And we went. We took off. You know how long it took for the FBI to come and get me?
How long?
7 years.
7 years, really?
7 years. Finally, the FBI came over there one day and tapped me on the shoulder on my job. I had already got married.
Really?
I had a wife. And tapped me on the shoulder and says, are you so-and-so? And I go, yeah. He said, could you raise your shirt? He said, you know, you want to look at my tattoo? You know, that's how they do. He goes, that's the guy said, that's him. They put me in the car and they took me to the nearest base, which was in California there. Naturally there I was locked up, and then I was facing court-martial and all this stuff, you know. And then finally they called over there and they said, I need all y'all to come out of there and line up over here. And there's lawyers inside, military lawyers, and they're going to talk to y'all. Okay. So I finally came in, and they had a bunch of them in there. They were doing a bunch of us all at one time. And he said, I'm going to offer you something. He said, you want to go home? I go, yeah. And he said, you sign this paper right here. I'll let you go home real quick. Where do I sign? You know?
Yeah, right.
I signed that sucker. He didn't tell me what I was signing. I was signing away everything.
Oh, really?
But it's not dishonorable. It was what they call undesirable. They gave away thousands of them during that time. You can look it up. It's on the internet. Thousands of Vietnam veterans signed that paper.
Really?
And I was one of them. So sure enough, a few days later, they pulled me out of the prison, gave me some new clothes, gave me a little cash or money, gave me a bus ticket, and said, see ya. And we'll send your discharge to you later in the mail. Well, I never got the discharge in the mail, but I forgot about it again. Because I went back to my wife and back to my life, you know.
Right.
And they're in California. And then my life just went on after that. And I just forgot about the military. I just forgot about that I was ever in the military, really. And I went on with life. That's what happened with me. Up until I was 72 years old, then I said, you know what? I got rights. I got benefits. I need to get them, you know. My discharge I got, it don't say dishonorable. I still have something, I know. So I went to a VSO officer and said, can you help me? He said, no problem. He filed the paperwork asking for a discharge upgrade. And about 4 or 5 months later, they sent it to me in the mail. And they gave me a general discharge. And ever since then, I'm eligible for all the benefits. And then since then, I'm receiving disability for my injuries and stuff. And so that's my story, you know. Now, I should have done that way ahead of time, and that's what people say, why didn't you do that before? I don't know. It's just that's the way it was in my life. I lived my whole life. As a matter of fact, I got married twice after that one.
Oh, really?
So, you know, and I got a child and everything. And I was still, you know, with that bad discharge, and I could have done something about it earlier if I hadn't done it. But anyway, today, I'm finding out that the VA and the people that process for the VA for different things like that, they're much more sympathetic now, especially for Vietnam veterans and also for veterans in general.
Yes, sir.
And so that's a good thing. It's a very good thing that the government is changing their attitude about helping veterans in trouble like I was.
Tell me about your involvement with the VFW.
Well, the VFW, I became a member of the local VFW one time down in Louisiana. At one point, me and my first wife, we moved back home to Louisiana, and we were there for a while, but then we moved back to California. It didn't work out. She didn't like it. She was a California girl, and she couldn't handle the South. She thought she could, but you know the South's different.
Oh, yeah. My wife's
Anyway,
from California.
I was down there. I joined the local VFW because I was still working jobs, you know, and I liked it. It was great, you know. And then we left. I left it, you know. But then when I got here, I joined the one here. Finally, got back into it. I've joined the Vietnam Veterans for America here too, and I love it. I love camaraderie again. I love being able to do my part to help veterans in this area. We started Downtown Veteran Support Group. And so I'm just so proud of that. I'm actually able to give back now instead of just forgetting it.
Right.
Going about my whole life. And I thank God for everything.
Yes, sir.
I thank God for everything. I'd be dead if it wasn't for him right now. I wouldn't even be here.
I think that's all of us, man.
Yes.
I got you. How do you think your military service shaped who you are today?
I'm gonna answer. It's the honest answer. I think it almost wrecked me.
Yeah.
It didn't do me any good. I would have been better off without it. And I can't say that for people now. But for me, it almost ruined me. But I was able to, and again, I got to thank God for it, to pull it together and decide to move on with my life. Because a lot of soldiers commit suicide,
Yep.
and a lot of them did, and still do.
Yep.
And I was not one of those, because my God told me, don't give up.
Yep.
I'm with you. And I've been hanging on that all my life, and I still do today.
Yes, sir.
But as
22
far as the
days.
military, I don't tell anybody don't go to the military. No, military, we got to have the military. There's a purpose for it. And when a man goes in, I've seen too many times people go in and they come out a man. They go in a boy, come out a man.
Yes, sir.
You know.
I understand that. Last question is, if you could give any advice to a veteran getting out of the service, what would you tell him?
The veteran getting out today,
Yes, sir.
I would just tell him plain out, man, don't forget what you did there and be proud of it, because you served. But yet, don't expect the military to shake your hand or offer you a bunch of stuff before you walk out, because when they discharge you, they just open the door and you're out.
Yep.
Even today, it still hasn't improved that much.
Not really.
They didn't offer us anything, but now I think they offer a little bit, or I think they have a class that they have to mandatory go through.
It's
But we
been
didn't have
called
any
a
of
couple
that.
names. It
So I
was
would tell them,
TGPS now.
don't forget that, but yet you own your own. You need to be proud of yourself, and you need to pat your own self on the back, and you need to and not forget your fellow veterans and be a part of them, because camaraderie is important.
Yep.
That's what you had in the military. You fought for the guy next to you.
Yep.
You didn't fight for anything else. You fought for that guy.
Yep.
He fought for you. It's no different in this world. We have to fight for one another. We have to stay together,
Yep.
That would be my advice to him.
Understand. Well, hey, is there anything else you'd like to tell?
No, I'd just like
tell
to
the
thank you
internet?
for this interview.
Oh, of course.
I'd like to thank you, sir.
I enjoy it. I love
And
hearing
I look
stories.
forward to seeing you more.
I'll be at the VFW tonight. We'll
Yeah, and
I'll
we
go for
also,
help time, so-
I'm gonna send you all the information for the council meeting.
Yes, sir.
And I expect you to be there, because I
I'll be
want to
there.
introduce you to everybody.
I'll be
They're
there.
looking for you. We need you so badly to
Yes,
help
sir.
us.
That's part of what we're doing with this.
We will tell you, the group will tell you what we need, and then you can decide at that point if you want to do it. You don't have to be committed, Now, if you want to commit, you can.
Yes, sir.
But I'd just like you to come and check it out.
Yes, sir. I will.